Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me again. My name is Michael. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and I'd just like to share with everyone something really cool and something that's I've done a few teachings and sharing things with people, but this one is very personal because it goes really into my personal story, and I'll be going into that in this teaching. But it's about being a warrior for God, and fighting for God and for His people and for defense for the self and being strong in the Lord. Basically, teaching people how to be strong in the Lord and how to have God fight for you. Because when God fights for you, then the enemy just melts like wax before him. You know what I mean? You can do like untold damage and suffering to the enemy. Like, how would you like to do that? And I'd like to teach you that. I'd like to show you that. And so, you know, when I'm talking about being a warrior, I'm talking about, battling the enemy as in not a flesh and blood enemy like the children of Israel. They fought flesh and blood enemies, but I think now that the kingdom of heaven is inside of us and now it's not an external thing, our enemy is not with flesh and blood anymore like with the Old Testament children of Israel. Their battle was with flesh and blood, but our battle is with the devil and with his angels. That spiritual battle. Our battle is not with flesh and blood, but with the dark powers and rulers of darkness in heavenly places, like in Ephesians. That's the enemy that I'm talking about. Who what our battle is against. And I'm when I talk about warrior, I'm talking about being effective, an effective and good warrior, one who is strong in the Lord, who does serious damage to the enemy, who's victorious against the devil, who's victorious against all his hordes of demons and whatnot that come against us. And they do that because we are in a war, and the enemy does not care if we are prepared or not. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He does it for every Christian, and it doesn't matter if we want to acknowledge it. Doesn't matter if we're prepared. We can be wearing our armor in the day of evil, or we can be naked as a jaybird and be easy prey. You know what I mean? So it's our choice. It's up to us to choose. Are we going to be ready in the day of evil? When are we going to be prepared to stand and to take our stand and to fight the enemy, or are we going to basically get rocked and socked and beat up and be a pincushion or a welcome mat for the enemy? That we're not supposed to be the tail, we're supposed to be the head. They're not supposed to trample us, we're supposed to trample them. And so I want to teach you how to be strong in the Lord and how to trample the enemy and how to just rock them and sock them and beat them up. And so that's what I wanted to share with everyone and to impart to everyone. So I hope that gets you excited. And really, honestly, if you want excitement in your life, learn how to be a good warrior for God. That is serious excitement. You know what I'm saying? I used to be really into video games and really into um, movies and TV and stuff like that, and I liked those action adventure things, because there was always, like in Halo or something like that, you're like Master Chief, like, oh, this is really cool, it's all peaceful, and I'm stepping on my pod or whatever, and then it's like, red alert, like everything's blowing up, the ship's blowing up, an overwhelming enemy force is attacking, you have to like dodge bullets and dodge explosions, you don't have a gun, you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on, this is crazy, and it's like, that's kind of like that's kind of like what excitement is to me. It's like there's, obviously to create an exciting adventure, an exciting game, there has to be like a hero who fights for good against some kind of overwhelming evil enemy force that's just attacking like a flood, and this craziness is happening. And so it's like maybe this person's like a good dude or whatever, or a good woman, but they're put in this crazy situation, and it's just stuff is going crazy, and there's like this enemy and they're attacking and all this crazy stuff's happening, and like you're just put in this position. You got to learn, how to attack the enemy, how to fight them, how to be victorious against them, because otherwise it's game over and you got to restart, from the beginning, from the ground up. And you know and what's so interesting is that I'm going from that, to something greater than that, but something that's very similar. I mean, just talking about it, I'm like, whoa, that kind of really explains what I was talking about being a warrior, because, fighting the enemy, like the devil and his demons, can be just as exciting and just as crazy fulfilling as like a crazy video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at video games now and I'm like, dude, I actually live a more exciting adventure, and just like with video games, I don't have to leave my house to have that adventure, and to battle slay dragons, and to fight lions, and to rip them to pieces, and to fight, to trample on snakes and scorpions, and against, the that all being symbolic of fighting demons and the devil and stuff like that. But like, there's that excitement is available to one who is a good, well-trained warrior. But usually in the life of a warrior, just like in that Halo thing, it starts out like, what is going on? There's this point where it's like, I'm not in Kansas anymore. There is, like I said, you start out, you're Master Chief. I got all this stuff, like, I know stuff. I've read the Bible and blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, the craziness starts, because the enemy just starts attacking, and it's like, dude, that dude just blew up and right in front of me, or like this, like the ceiling is caving in, there's bullets, there's crazy stuff happening, like, oh look, there's a whole squad of them coming my way, I gotta run, I don't have a gun, what am I gonna do, how do I fight them? It's just craziness. It's like, how do I use this thing once I got it? And like with the Halo controls, it takes a while to get used to the controls, it takes a while to get used to the enemy. And sometimes, when you start out in a game, you're gonna get pounded more than once, before you learn, like, okay, I shouldn't be doing that, let's try this, okay, that doesn't work, let's try this. It takes a while to learn and to get that finesse where you can just be like, okay, I know the enemy is weak here, pow, like headshot, boom, explosion. And or like, like, oh, if I throw this thermal grenade or whatever on this little dude, he'll run around, dance in circles, and everybody blows up, like. And then in some video games, there were area of attack things where, like, just like a grenade, and a grenade can attack multiple enemies. Well, an area of attack is the same thing, where one attack can attack multiple enemies and just blast them to shreds. Like, and then you can get upgrades and get more like ammo that will really rock. Like ammo that will, like, one hit kill them. And that's, kind of what I'm talking about, like, with being a warrior and being an effective warrior, because that day of evil is going to come whether we're prepared or not. And so that's, I hope that gets everyone interested, and I'd like to share with you, how to be strong in the Lord, how to fight the enemy, and how to, by letting the Lord fight for us. Now, when I'm talking about letting the Lord fight for us, there are two parts to that, because the biggest thing is that God is with us. If God isn't with us, we cannot be victorious, because victory rests with the Lord. And being strong, we can only be strong in the Lord, because we fight an enemy where the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're not like, we're not going to be picking up a bucket and a shield and putting the bucket on our head and fighting the enemy. It's like, the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal, they aren't fleshly, they aren't a sword and a shield, literally. They're mighty in God, in Christ, for the pulling down of strongholds, and strongholds being, like the enemy's fortresses and whatnot, and their frames of thought and thinking and their lies. And so that's what I'm talking about with the weapons of our warfare. They're a lot different. It's a different battle. Like, there's a lot of unknowns and unseen things, and a lot of times with spiritual warfare, they've kind of likened it to shadow boxing, because a lot of times we don't really see what we're fighting against. So I'm going to be teaching you some things that are really just great, where you'll have an idea of who you're fighting. Like, it's almost like I'm doing you a Halo walkthrough and telling you, okay, this gun does this, like, and you're gonna want to get this upgrade because it will make their heads. Sorry, I was gonna say something really morbid, but like, but like, I'm gonna be telling you, okay, this works. If you do this, it's going to make them explode this way. If you do that, you can do multiple enemy attacks, and you can do untold suffering and damage on the devil and stuff like that. And so it's like, I'm going to be teaching you, because I've been in that position where things are exploding around me, and I'm like naked and don't have a weapon, and it's just like, they caught me at Oh Dark 30, and it's like, I don't know what to do, and it's like, this is crazy, and it took me a long time of getting good by losing a lot. So, you know, like I'd like to share with you like what I've learned and gained through warfaring and just being in constant warfare with the enemy and with the devil. And I really feel like I'm in a place where I'm really confident in warfare, where in the day of evil it's like what it's like, you know, you've attacked me, maybe you've done some damage, but now I'm gonna unleash, you know, heaven on you and you're toast, mister, you know. And so it's like so um that's really what I wanted to portray and what I wanted to teach everyone. So I'm gonna leave it short, just to, you know, give it a little tidbit, to give it a little taste of what I wanted to say, and so hopefully you can tune in for the next videos, and I hope I've got your attention, and I hope you tune in because it's exciting, and you know, being victorious in battle against the enemy is so it's exciting. It can be fun. It can be an adventure in itself. It you know, and it's just really cool. Let's just put it that way. It's really cool. And so anyways, I'm gonna leave you with that. So take care, and hopefully you can tune in for the next videos. See ya. Hasta luego.